All right, well, welcome to eTrans Services SmartSimple Cloud webinar series. Our webinar topic today is enhancing portal and user experience in your SmartSimple Cloud instance. This webinar is focused on providing guidance and recommended design strategies for improving your SmartSimple user experience through updated portal layouts and features. Just a note, today's session is being recorded, and we will post it on our YouTube channel probably later this week. My name is Jamie Neal, Program Manager for Digital Services, and I will be your host today. And I am actually in Virginia, so we have actually a few people from Virginia on the call. I'm also joined by Karina. As she said, she's going to be helping to facilitate the Q&A session. So if you have questions during the webinar, just put them in the chat and then we'll answer them during our Q&A. So here's a brief overview of what I'll be reviewing today. I'm just going to give an overview of portal functionality, followed by a demonstration of different portal options and layouts, and then we'll do our Q&A. So what is a portal? A portal is essentially the graphical user interface that a user sees when they log into SmartSimple. It includes menus as well as focused or task-oriented pages. The interface is dynamic and customizable. It adapts to the role of the user, meaning that every individual may see a different interface depending on their permissions and responsibilities. For example, an administrator might have access to configuration settings, while a staff member will only see the pages or links related to grant tracking and reporting. Similarly, an external user will have a more simplified view, showing only the functions they need to complete their applications and activities. The portal is designed this way to streamline the user experience and enhance productivity, so with less clutter and more intuitive navigation. Portals can represent different types of information, such as charts, aggregates, lists of data, as well as provide links to other parts of the system. So we'll see examples of all of these in the demo. The portal offers a single access point for commonly used information, such as links to everyday tasks, visualizations of data, and progress monitoring. The role-based portal changes with the user's role, providing customized views of information that are specific to a user's needs. So what's the difference between a portal and a dashboard? So you often hear those terms interchangeably. I'm going to try to give you a sense of what the difference is. So to me, a portal is sort of an umbrella term for the role-based user experience. It serves as a central access point for all the resources, information, and tools users need to efficiently perform their tasks. Everything is consolidated in one place for ease of use. I think of a portal kind of as encompassing all menus, pages, and list views that a particular user has permissions for. One of the main functions of the portal is content navigation. So it pulls together data from various sources so users can access what they need quickly. All necessary information is only a few clicks away, making the user experience more streamlined and organized. And then a dashboard is more of a specialized type of portal page. It kind of focuses on visualizing key metrics, performance indicators, analytics, and any other information radiators in a user-friendly format. So think of a dashboard's main function as offering a snapshot of specific data points and trends. Instead of digging through raw data or running reports, users get an immediate high-level view of critical information that helps them make informed decisions based on real-time data. These are some of the key features and capabilities you can enable in a SmartSimple Cloud portal. Most of you are probably familiar with these, and I'll show you examples of different ways to incorporate many of these features in the demonstration. Those of you who are system admins may be familiar with the concept of the common role already. So the common role is kind of an aggregate role. You can create a combined portal on this common role that allows pages, sections, shortcuts, and other portal elements to be shared across multiple roles. And then you control access to them by permission settings. We recommend this approach because it enables sharing portal elements across roles without duplicating efforts. So it makes reuse and maintenance a lot easier. Portals built on individual roles don't allow you to share elements across the roles. So each element has to be rebuilt on every single role, even if the roles have some of the same responsibilities. So that creates additional burden for admin staff in terms of maintenance and reuse. The key takeaway here is that the common role is a reusable portal with elements that are shared across multiple roles, so that reduces your maintenance and configuration time. You'll notice all SmartSimple portals have the same basic navigational structure: the instance logo, the main menu links, and the user menu. Some roles will have access to additional features in the user menu and additional menu items, such as the 9-square grid or waffle that's available to admins and some internal users. Note that the logo, the main menu links, and all user menus are customized to your SmartSimple instance and are also tailored to each role. And that's done by permission settings. As we change roles in the demo, you will see the menu options change as well. The body of a portal page typically contains sections. Each section can have charts, graphs, shortcuts, list views, etc. SmartSimple provides a few layout templates that allow you to easily create user-friendly, well-organized pages by simply adding your own content to a predefined template. You can also create your own customized portal layouts by adding different sections and playing around with the size, the location, color schemes, other settings, etc. Okay, let's explore this further by logging in as different users to see how the portal adjusts based on these settings. So the most important thing to remember about portal content is that it's tailored to that individual user system role. So I'm showing you an example from an applicant's perspective. The applicant role is an external role, so it has fewer permissions and more restrictions than an internal staff or system admin role would have. Applicants have very limited actions they can take, as you'll see here. The idea behind this applicant portal is to make it simple and clear to the applicant what capabilities they have and how they can access them quickly and easily. You'll notice the main menu has only one link. That's the home page. And from there, I can get to anything. So in this portal, I only have really 5 main activities: searching for funding, managing applications, managing grants and activities, managing my profile information, and getting help from additional resources if needed. So each of these buttons, or shortcuts as they're called, offers a quick link to take the applicant to a specific page to provide information and access their data. Each page is slightly different in look and feel to give you all some examples of different page layouts and features. We'll just click on funding opportunities here. In this page, we've tried to make it very clear through the use of list view buttons what actions the applicants can do. I can get information on the program. So I can just click here and see, what the due date is, etc. I can ask a question to the program officer. And then I can also see published questions and answers here. And then also I can apply directly from this page. So if I click this button, I can get to my application and I can start my application. Okay. In the Manage My Applications page, so this looks a little bit different than the last page we saw. This is a section in tabs, and each tab shows applications in different statuses to make it easier for you to find your particular application in progress. So I can just click these tabs and see if I have applications in progress. You notice we added a home button here to make it easier to navigate. I can also go back to my home link at the top just to take me back to my home when I'm done. In managing my grants, this page has 2 separate list views. So in the grants list, I can see my awarded grants, and then in the activities list, I can access another section in tabs with each activity on its own tab. So here, there's divided not by status, but by activity types. So I can see all the different activities that I have to complete. And again, we have our back to home page here. Here I can manage my profiles. So I can get to my own user profile by clicking here, and then I can make changes if I need to. I can edit my organization profile and also my password. And then we have another home button here. It has a slightly different look to the other home button that you saw before, but we just kept it in line with the other icons on this page so that they're consistent. The resources page provides quick access to videos. So we have some webinars here. And then other helpful information, such as frequently asked questions. And then there's a couple of job aids and some external links here. Okay, now I'm going to log out of my applicant session. And I'll show you this portal that's been designed more for staff. So I'm logged in as an internal staff user, and right away you'll see that I have more menu options at the top. And that's because I have a less restricted role. My homepage offers that same simple, straightforward access point to my everyday activities, but I have far greater access than the applicant. So from here, I have shortcuts which give me access to those things that I have to take care of every day. I have a to-do page. So this gives me access to applications and grants, grant activities, grant programs, and then I can also have this home, which takes me back to my home page. I'll just show you a couple of examples of how these are laid out. So this may look similar to the section and tabs from the applicant page, but from here I can monitor all of the applications in various statuses. It is similar to what you saw in the applicant portal, but as a staff user, I'm not restricted to just my applications. And then as a staff member, I also have a recently visited button that will take me back to my to-do page so I can navigate more easily. The grant activities page is another example of section and tabs, but it's a little bit different. So you'll notice that the last one was a traditional list view. And then these are shortcuts. The shortcuts are still tabbed, but instead of being tabbed by status, they're tabbed by the type of activity. And each one has its own separate shortcuts. So I have some pre-award activities listed by type here, and then the shortcuts are actually by status rather than the tabs. And then below are some post-award activities I need to monitor. And then we have a different back button that will take me back to my to-do page here. This is another way to show you how to get the same capability as that recently visited button, but using it within the portal page itself. So it keeps, again, the idea is to keep the navigation as simple as possible. I'll show you a grant program page. It's really just a list view, but we're using a card style list view with photos rather than a traditional list. So we're using photos to represent each program to bring visual interest to the page. And then you can see summary information about the grant, the number of grants, the total dollars awarded. It's less busy than a list style view, but each card is still clickable and you can easily get to your program details by clicking on them. Let me go back to my home page here, and I'll show you a couple other pages that we've built. This analysis and reports page shows different example charts. So the bar charts let me track budget information easily so I can monitor spending. And then I have pie charts down here to compare applications by status and awarded amounts by grant program here. And then at the bottom, I have some common reports. So this is useful for staff that run regular reports. They don't have to go to the reports menu and search for the report in the list and then run it. The reports are just quickly accessible here by just clicking on the tabs. And then the data is loaded in real time. And once again, I have my homepage button to take me back home. I'll show you a quick goals tracking page. So this offers quick insight into our active goals. I can see I have 4 active goals in this card style list, and then I can see my targeted amount of remaining funding for each of the goals. So this page offers just a quick visual into my goal spending progress. Okay, let me go back. I'm going to use my recently visited to go back home. From home, I also have quick access to contacts and organizations. So here I can add new contacts. I can look at filtered lists of active grantees, reviewers, internal staff, and then I have a home button here. And then kind of the same thing for organizations. I can add a new organization and I can look at my grantee organizations easily and then go back home. So I'm just going to show you a couple other example portals. The staff portal that I've shown you today is designed for quick access to specific functions for grant staff, but it's got a very simple layout. It's easy to navigate and there's only a few buttons on it. This overlook page is actually built on one of SmartSimple's available templates. We just made some slight modifications to it. This page, it has more of a dashboard feel. We have the quick links to other things like contacts and organizations, fund management, program management, et cetera. And then we have these visualizations. So it's more dashboard, less navigational, but still functional in terms of being able to see everything in one place. And then we tried to keep it less busy in presentation as well. The charts are interactive. So if you, let's say, remove some of these statuses, you can see your pie chart is changing here. These charts are exportable, so you can export them to some kind of image file or PDF and use them in reports or presentations. Over here, I can click on the bar and expand that so I can see the individual application records that make up that specific aggregated data. So that helps me drill down. And then below, we have some additional aggregate shortcuts to get to the list of grants and then goals. So just another way of looking at the data. And it's kind of all in one page instead of that navigational page. One last portal example that I want to show you is a management overview. The idea here is that the management team has very limited access and they only see the activities and tasks that require their attention. They have access to, let's say, required tasks here, such as approvals or signatures. They have maybe a grantee development capability where they're developing potential new grantees for future funding. They can access open funding opportunities and then monitor budgets and funding sources. And then through these charts below, we've given them just some real-time insights into the active funds and grants by program. Just a quick view so that they can monitor that information. The last thing I want to highlight to you is the ability in your portal to clean up your main menus. The main menu has links to different pages and different objects or UTAs. And what we've done here is group them into submenus. So you'll notice these may look familiar to some of you as some of the different UTAs in your system, but we've grouped them under this submenu so that it's a little cleaner up here. And the idea is not to have a very busy main menu where you're scrolling back and forth and you've got a lot of different links at the top. So this is really just consolidating it here. The CRM link also has, you can get quick access to your organizations and contacts here as well. And then the last one is this geomapping link where we have links to different maps that are in our system, such as this grants impact map. Okay, so that concludes the demo portion. And so I'm just going to leave you with a couple of recommended portal design guidelines to consider. Understanding your audience by highlighting key information specific to the user's daily functions. So keeping in mind what that role is and what they have to do in their system on a daily basis, and then just giving them quick, simple access to those key things. Aim for simplicity and clarity. So we saw this in the very simple navigational pages in both the applicant and staff portals. Choosing images for visual appeal that resonate with the intended users, or provide visual information that immediately connects that user to the content. Positioning your text and images strategically to the sort of guide the user's eye. So left to right, top to bottom, avoiding large blank spaces or cramped sections. And then ensuring text readability by contrast in text color and background, and then making sure that your text size is adequate for easier readability. The other things that we want to think about are designing with accessibility in mind to ensure that users of all abilities can easily read, interpret, and navigate portal content. Use design elements like icons that graphically represent the supporting text. It just gives a little bit more up-to-date and refined experience. Maintaining consistency in design elements like fonts, colors, icon styles across all portals to create a unified user experience. We didn't really show you that today as much because we were just trying to show you different ideas and different ways to kind of create your portals. But normally what we would want to do is keep everything mostly consistent across. And then make sure that you're testing and iterating your portal design. So SmartSimple has a draft portal capability. So you can build out your portal while you still have a live portal and you don't impact the live portal. For testing purposes, we use our backup environment and we swap between the live and draft portals. And then we use that also to collect feedback from stakeholders and then iterate the design as we go. And then lastly, just a few tools that you can use to check accessibility in your SmartSimple portal design. The wiki, actually, the SmartSimple wiki has all these tools and a few more listed on the accessibility page. It's a really good resource for that information, so please check it out. So thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you can take away some ideas from this webinar and maybe some recommendations for making your portals more interesting, unique, and user-friendly. This QR code gives you access to our YouTube channel. We'll post the recording probably by the end of the week. And it also provides links to our social media sites so you can follow us for more upcoming webinars. Please feel free to contact me if I haven't addressed all of your questions today, or if you have ideas for other webinar topics you'd like to see. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Karina with the Q&A. Let's hope we have a few questions in the chat. Okay.
Great presentation and demo. Can you please share some of the common challenges you've experienced in designing the portal?
Oh, that's a good question. I have to think about that. I think that the biggest challenge is that there are, sort of some limitations in SmartSimple in terms of font sizing, text, et cetera, that you have to kind of get around. But it's also, there are also, like I mentioned earlier, some great templates that you can use to kind of get you started. You do have to play around a little bit sometimes with sizing of objects within the portal, and that can be challenging to get everything to kind of line up a little bit and make sure that it looks the way you want it to look. So that's why we like to use that draft portal feature so that we can iterate and kind of keep checking and looking to see how it looks once we've, sort of tweaked the size of something or, made it a little bit wider or a little bit narrower to see if it lines up with the other objects on the page. I think that's really the biggest challenge, is just getting everything to look exactly how you want it to. Hopefully that answers that question. The other thing is I'm not a graphic designer by any stretch, so I don't have a lot of creativity in terms of, coming up with really exciting things. So we like to, kind of help each other out on our team here. And I have other coworkers that are a lot more visually adept, let's say. So if you like that sort of thing, it can be a lot of fun to build portals.
Another question I had was, how frequently should admins review portal layouts to ensure that they meet user needs?
That's another good question. Anytime you add a new role, for sure. So you want to double check and see what that role has access to in the portal. You want to make sure that they don't have access to too much. I would say that's a really important one. The other thing is I would tend to look at them if there's a major, let's say, SmartSimple functional upgrade of some sort, especially one that involves portals, I would go back and take a look at it. And then maybe just every once in a while, kind of take a look at it and say, there's some new features or a new, let's say UTA that we want to get to, or a new, list view that we want to create that we want to be able to access easily. Um, so that sort of thing. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say that there's like any rule of thumb. Just kind of keep looking at it and decide whether or not it could use a refresh.
Great presentation, Jamie. Thank you. And if there are no more questions, like Jamie said, if you think of any along the way, you can email her at jamieneal@etransservices.com. It's on our screen. You can also go ahead and scan the QR code to access all of our social media platforms, our contact information, and our website. So thank you all for attending today's webinar, and I hope you have a great rest of your week and day.
Yep, thank you very much. And also, if anybody has any great portal ideas, I'd love to see them because I'm always looking for new layouts and new ideas. So thank you very much.
Awesome.
Have a wonderful afternoon.